Shalom, this is Kamali Allah, great Muslim in Atlanta. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to the Akim, pushing others truth and sincerity. All right, I want to name this lesson the importance of teaching. And excuse me, tonight I ran into an individual that used to come out and listen to the camp. You know, and this is maybe going back at least 8 years ago. If he was in the camp, he would probably be an upcoming elder. But he disappeared, and then, but the Spirit has had me kind of like run into him from time to time. I want to say maybe in the past year, I've run into this guy maybe 2 or 3 times, and it's usually the Spirit. Uh, and there's other individuals who are who used to be a part of the camp, who brothers run into, or used to listen, who brothers run into, and it's the Spirit. It's really for them, not us. It's a reminder to them that you fucking up. Like you know what you should be doing. Because it's not we're still doing the work. So it doesn't affect us one way or another. One way or another. When we run into you, because I wasn't cut, he was cut, but the Spirit kind of had it to where I chopped it up with him, and I didn't cuss him out. I did cut him, but I didn't cuss him out. But the Spirit just had me kind of going in, just rapping with him. I was like, man, you supposed to be teaching, man, what's going on? uh he said he said first he said, oh, I don't know, I don't think I'm a teacher, or something like that. He was just kind of full of excuses. He said, I don't think I'm a teacher. And then he said something along the lines of, well, I do teach people in my inner circle. I have people that come to me, for advice, for close friends and whatnot. You know. Uh, then he said, what else? Then he was kind of trying to allude to, he was kind of trying to allude and imply that, it's not a requirement to go out on the highways and byways and teach. Like basically he was like, where does it say in so many words? He was kind of hinting at the fact like, oh, well, where does it say in the scriptures that, we gotta go out in the city and teach? So I hit him with a few things, and he received it. He was cut after that, because he was actually getting ready to go inside of a spot, and how I know he was cut, he changed his mind and just rolled off. He was like, I guess he was like, no, never mind. But yeah, the Spirit just had me, maybe about 5-10 minutes. Spirit just had me kind of like just rapping with him, and I was just going into any type of any angle he tried to come. Spirit just had me like kind of cut him, with precepts, until he really just couldn't deal anymore, and then he just kind of, then I kind of, just parted ways. But this is Proverbs 1:21. This is the importance of teaching. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And scorners delight in their scorners, and fools hate knowledge. Let's see. Wait. No, I'm sorry. I need to start verse 20. It says, "Wisdom crieth without." Because this is a precept that I actually quoted, because he was trying to say, oh, well, what a, uh, where, basically allude to that you know teach, you don't gotta teach. And because Jake loves to put it on, oh, well, the Lord knows my heart, like, you know but verse 20, it says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets, she crieth in the chief place of concourse. In the openings of the gates in the city, she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Scorners delight in their scorners, scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Yeah, so wisdom and knowledge and understanding is going to be in the streets. Okay, so that's one cut, because you're gonna, yeah, you're gonna have, that's where you're gonna receive wisdom. Not to your inner circle. You got a lot of guys like our former camp head in Atlanta. After he got kicked out, after he got kicked out, he's trying to say, yeah, well, I'm teaching, I'm still teaching, I'm just teaching in a different way. Like he's teaching, I guess, you know, privately, among people, among people that he knows, shit like that. But that's not teaching. That doesn't constitute a teaching. And one thing I told him was, I said, it's not just about teaching your inner circle. Our job is, first of all, your inner circle is niggas. They're not. Those are your homies. They're not. They 9 times out of 10, them niggas ain't of the elect. We're out here for the elect. You know. Uh. We're out here for the elect. So, and the elect is gonna be amongst the streets or YouTube. That's enough. That's one reason why we use YouTube. That's why we do our videos on YouTube. Now, uh, not only that, but our another job that is to condemn the other nations, to condemn Esau to his face. You know, I get this. Matter of fact, because I brought up this in our interaction. This is Wisdom of Solomon 1 verse. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, 5:1. I'm sorry, I thought it was 1:5. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no count of his labors. Yeah, so we're standing in boldness among our oppressors. All right, and we're telling them, as Spirit called BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Just saw license plate 777. But we're standing in boldness among our oppressors, man, among the world. All right, we're being made a spectacle. All right, and then I also brought up the parable of the talents, because it said, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, uh, Matthew 5 and Matthew 5 and 14. It says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and give it light to all, and it give it light unto all that are in the house." So, we have a responsibility of knowing this knowledge. He had the nerve to say, "Well, yeah, I pray for knowledge and wisdom." He tried to say, then he tried to say, "Yeah, well, Jake tries to make excuses to say, yeah, well, I'm still good. Like, I'm still doing this, I'm still doing that." Because he was like, yeah, I'm actually about to. Because I was like, we have a responsibility to teach. We have a responsibility to pray, fast. Yeah, yeah. Well, I am fasting. I'm actually, as a matter of fact, I'm about to do a fast tomorrow. I'm gonna do a 3-day fast, dry fast. So, he's trying to prove himself because he's cut. He's trying to overcompensate because he's cut. But you're hiding your light, my man. You're hiding your light. You know. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel. So you don't hide your candle. If the Lord gave you light, you're a light unto the world. You're supposed to put it on. You're supposed to be a lighthouse, man. Verse 16: Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So you're gonna want to shine your light. Another one I brought up is being lukewarm, because the Lord wants us either cold or hot. Revelation 13:3 and 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. All right. And I mean, Lord willing, he gets it together, and maybe he'll come around. He seems like a pretty sincere Jake. But I mean, the odds are not in his favor right now, because he doesn't have any. Another thing that I told him was like, hey, look, if you're trying out for a team and you want a certain position, what is the position we want? We want salvation. If you trying out for a team, they're gonna look at your track record. They're gonna look at what you've been doing. They're gonna look at, you know what I'm saying. Everyone wants to be saved, but as the saying goes, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for the Lord? What has He done for the Lord? Us, at least we could say, hey, we've been doing videos in your name. We've been edifying. We've been building brothers up. We've been going out on the highways and byways, you know, charitable, doing all these things in His name. Is Jake keeping the Sabbath? Are you keeping the Sabbath? Are you doing this? You doing that? He does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in the world, but he's supposed to know these things. Ultimately, though, he's just not of the elect. That's what I perceive. He just may not be of the elect, you know. But another one I brought up is this one. Second Peter. 2 Peter 1:10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. Now I told him that I was like, you really want to give diligence to make your calling and election sure, because I told him what he's doing, or rather what he's not doing is risky. Him not doing the work is risky. It's very risky. Why would you, like, how can you expect a particular outcome, and you haven't been working towards that outcome? Like I said, I brought up the analogy of a sports team. You wanna be a part of a particular team, which is the elect. We're all so-called trying out for the elect. You want to be a part of this team, but you're not putting in the effort. Like, in college, you want to go D1. That's what every high school player wants to go D1. Well, what these schools do is they look at your stats. They look at your track record. They look at your GPA. They look at your stats, your points per game, your minutes, your everything. They analyze it, and they're like, you know what? All right, he's a good fit. He's not a good fit. So how much more YAHAWASHI? He's gonna look at us and sift. The angels are he's gonna set up the angels to sift the house of Israel. Scripture says he's gonna search Jerusalem with candlesticks. So during that search, would you not want to be found in good case? The Day of Atonement is around the corner. You know, and that's our time to repent and reflect, you know, and to get our things in order, you know. But ultimately, Jake is just, not in the right spirit, And I told him that is a risky thing for you to not do the work, for you to, have known this thing for this long, and you're not doing the work, you're not giving diligence. I brought the parable of the talents, and you hiding it. I said you hiding it under a napkin, man. So the spirit kind of had me cut him. Like I said, I wasn't really like, cussing. I wasn't angry. I wasn't cussing him out. Just, I went into the scriptures. I said, look, this is what's going on. He was trying to make excuses. Well, he was trying to, say in a roundabout way that we don't have to teach. But why would you not teach? Why would you not teach? If the Lord didn't require that we teach, and I also said, well, this is the format, the men that taught us this truth, the same men where, if that paved the way to where we all know we're Israelites, and that was the format that was set up, is teaching on the highways and byways. Why would we not follow that? That's who the Lord's dealing with. You wouldn't even know you were an Israelite if it wasn't for us teaching. So you just want to receive, but you don't want to give. Freely give. Freely you receive, freely give. But I was getting ready to say, even if the Lord doesn't require that we teach, like, oh, you know what, you don't gotta go out and teach. You should still want to teach anyway. Even like, you get what I'm saying? Like, even if the Lord, he said, you know what, all right, you know what, your faith is good enough. But faith without works is dead. Because, well, we're not saved off of works, we're saved off of faith. But as a result of your faith, you're going to put in works. They go hand in hand. They go like peanut butter and jelly, faith and works. So just because the Lord said, hey, well, faith is good enough, you should still want to put in works so that you can have a better fighting chance. That's like if somebody had $1 million on the line, and they're like, okay, here's the minimum. Here's the minimum to apply for this $1 million or whatever. This is the minimum. You're eligible to get this $1 million by doing this minimum task. But you can do more. Well, why would you not want to do more? To make your chances more secure. Why would you not want to do more? You should want to do more. You shouldn't want to do the minimum. You should want to do more, so that you can secure your spot. Like, you know what? All right, boom, I want to do more just to increase my chances, because I really want this. So that's pretty much it. Lord really ratified, and then by giving our praise and honor and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom.